Tony Hawkins has got a podcast. I hope he's better at this than he is washing the kit, because he was fucking useless.
Well, this is the one sentence I really didn't want to be saying this week. Welcome to the final episode of Season 4.
Yes, a couple of weeks earlier than we would have hoped, but there you go. Such is life.
Such is life.
As we were just saying, it wasn't really anything to do with Sunday. It was the damage was done the week before, when it was a few days before.
Damage was done last Thursday, wasn't it? When we resorted to trying to be like a tribute act to them, didn't we? You know, just fell right into that trap, didn't we?
Stooped to their level.
We did,
Stooped to their level, and it cost us a man.
The most ironic thing was, I was watching it, I thought, you are like a right bunch of dirty bastards. But it was our bloke that gets sent off, wasn't it? You know?
Yeah, but this is it, and that's, you know, if you can't beat them by playing football, then I did see one of their fans say, "We're not dirty, we're more niggly." That's worse.
Yeah.
That's actually worse, because then that becomes a tactic.
They're super dirty. I mean, one of them took Kessler Hayden out, didn't he, right on the line, and then stood above the guy and laughed. Like, you know, just think. I mean, there was another incident. I mean, Scott Twine, obviously, he was targeted, but you know, they were in on him like a ton of bricks. And then there was Dave, wasn't it? His shirt was ripped so badly by one of them that he had to change it for another one. You know?
Yeah,
that's not being niggly. That's being dirty bastards. That's what that is. You know.
Yeah.
But like we said last week,
their success.
Yes, like we said last week, you know, it's them that's selling tickets for Wembley, not us.
Precisely.
You know.
But yeah, I could not be subjected to that. And again, another Wickham fan said to me, it might not be pretty, but it's effective. So, yes, there is that. It's got them to Wembley. It's
a means to an end, isn't it? I mean, there's no aesthetic qualities to watching that, is there? You know, I mean, you can't admire, that was a great hoof, you know? You can't just turn around.
I like to look at it from the view of the other side, because you want to think about what they're seeing.
Yeah.
But the general consensus seems to be that's the way we play. That's what's got us where we are. We'll put up with it. And you know, but I could not. I mean, even if I lived on that industrial estate, I would not go and watch that. I really couldn't. But they did their job. They did what they needed to do. They did it well. I mean, they came to us with clearly zero ambition.
Yeah.
They had 2 shots all game, 0 on target. I think we had 24 and 14 on target. So it wasn't for a lack of effort. But, yeah, the damage was already done last week, on Thursday, and that's what killed it. The letting them get to us and McEachran reacting and getting a stupid second yellow was playing into their hands, basically. So, but they're a young team, and hopefully for the rest of their careers, wherever they might be playing, because I can see quite a few of them not being in this general vicinity.
Oh, well, I thought so.
And possibly the head coach as well. Oh, that's the worst thing about all of this, really, isn't it? Other than just not getting promoted,
the team just breaks up, doesn't it? And that's it.
Yeah, I mean, we could lose. I think someone mentioned, including loanees, 10 players.
Oh, I've counted 7 first-team players that I suspect will leave. So there's the 5 that were on loan that started Saturday night. And then obviously Twine and Darling, I think they'll both go. So that's like 7, isn't it? Of the of the 11 that started just on Sunday night. So, you know, I mean, you just gutted, aren't you? You know, I mean, quite literally, your team's been gutted, hasn't it? With the 4 years.
Yeah, it has, and this is it. And we're going to have to go through that. I mean, we've done it. This will be the 3rd time now, won't it? You know, when we're crying about losing players, and then suddenly a Matt O'Reilly appears, or you know, we get these wonder kids on loan. We'll say wonder kids, but they just fitted in nicely. And I think that's the difference, is that I don't know if it's the players or the way that Manning coaches or what it is, but, Harry Darling came in halfway through the season and slotted in. I was crying about, believe it or not, Keogh leaving, wasn't I?
Yeah.
And saying, well,
and you just came right in. An upgrade, if anything,
That's killed it. Guess who I was sat 2 seats away from on Sunday night?
Let me think. Is it an ex-Dons player?
It's an ex-Dons player.
Was it that guy from Blackpool, whose name I can't remember?
What, Gary McKenzie?
No, the guy was, I suppose... Is it Blackpool? Yeah, the guy that went back to... No, Cardiff, sorry, not Blackpool. What am I talking about?
Oh, Max Waters, no. I have mentioned it very recently.
Right. Oh, I don't know.
Like in the last minute.
I can't remember. I can't even think back a minute.
I was sat next to, or between me and me mum. Other side of me and me mum. Richard Keogh was sat.
Really? Was he really there? Well,
yeah,
that's a shame.
There was quite a lot of it.
There was loads there, wasn't there?
Georgie Williams at half time.
Did you see that video of him in the cow shed?
On a bit of a session. I haven't seen it. I've heard about it.
Mate, it's worth watching. It's brilliant,
he's such
actually.
A lovely man. He's such a lovely man. So I kept out of his way because everybody was coming up to him and talking to him, and he kept looking at me. And I went to go back, and he says, "Where are you going?" I said, "I'm going back to my seat." He said, "Oh, let's have a chat. We'll catch up with you and have a talk." And I was expecting him to have been away already on his holidays, but he's going today, apparently.
How was he going, do you think?
Marbella, of course.
Oh,
Marbs,
lovely.
As the ballers like to call it.
Oh, good for him.
But yeah, there was quite a few there, weren't there?
There was loads there, eh? Bloody loads of them. Even Robbo was there, wasn't he, in the stands? I seen him. Little face.
Who's that?
Robbo.
Oh, no, I didn't see him, actually.
He was sat just behind Keith Andrews. He was there.
Oh, I didn't see Keith. I bet Keith was in the...
they were in the top seats, weren't they? Yeah, no, the posh seats. Not wrong with the hoi polloi. Those blokes, are they?
Even Club Red's beneath him. It literally was on.
That was the other night,
yeah. But yeah, it was very crowded in my usually very uncrowded seating area on Sunday. There was a lot of shuffling and scooching, as they like to call it. But it was nice to see some familiar faces. It was nice to see that we went out from the first whistle to score goals, and at no point did we waver from that, as the stats would suggest.
What did you think of the atmosphere?
I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah, I was impressed by that. I really was.
Considering there were no sales on the day, the crowd was completed by Saturday, and I thought overall, considering we lost the first leg, I thought 11,000 or whatever it was home fans was decent. I
thought it held up very well. That I was quite, cause...
And interestingly, I saw the stats for the away fans. Basically, and this is, you wouldn't know this, but it is very unusual. You usually get in a crowd of, let's say, about 10,000, 11,000. You'd normally expect about 1,500 people to turn up.
Yeah, there was more of them, wasn't there, than 2,000?
And proportionally, it's the same for a home as it is for away. Basically, not a single one of their fans didn't turn up.
I know. There was 2,200 or something of them, wasn't there?
Yeah, we gave them an extra 200.
To shut them up? Good bloody whinging.
Last week, yeah.
Unbelievable. What to treat that, didn't it? I mean, that was another psychological thing that they tried to do, and once again, Pete felt the need to say something. I would have just goes, fucking don't like it, don't come. That's what I would have said, but there you go.
Well, I mean, they were... We only did what Sunderland and Sheffield Wednesday did to each other, and no one moaned about that. Sunderland's crowd was ridiculous.
It was.
Sheffield Wednesday didn't sell out, so they could have given more if they wanted to. But those are the rules, and if you want to employ those rules, then so shall it be. But
that's what I was saying to someone that doesn't like football about it. Just saying, they got we finished third, and they came into the the playoffs on the final day, and he's going, that's not very fair. I goes, no, it's spectacularly unfair. I said, but, when you enter the competition, you know the rules before you go.
Well, exactly. And I just noticed straight away someone started a thread about it on the concrete roundabout. Every season, someone, their team's in the playoffs, usually the one that finishes third and doesn't make it. Are the playoffs unfair? Should the format be changed? It is a form club that usually wins. And I had a quick look, and of the 4 teams in the playoffs, we actually had the worst record in the last 5 games.
There you go, then.
We lost 2 out of 3. The other 3 teams lost a grand total of 1 game between them in the last 5 games. So it's just the way the playoffs are, and you can moan all you like about it and say it's not fair.
I love the playoffs.
That is it. That's, you know, if it was the other way round, we'd have been saying, well, no, it gives teams who have had a good season a chance, but for the sake of a blip and blah blah blah. So, yeah, every team finishes in the position they do based on 46 games.
Yeah, on merit. Yeah,
you could say that. I mean, there's always one team that has a last-minute run, but there wasn't really.
There wasn't this
season,
year,
was there?
no.
Oxford fell away,
Yeah.
Leaving it really between 7 teams, and it was just that last day, really, whether it be us or Rotherham or Wigan, I suppose, but that was less likely. And then just who was going to get that last playoff spot with realistically Wickham and Plymouth.
Of course, it's ironic, isn't it? I was desperate to get Wickham because I thought we would do them.
Yeah. Should we talk about playoff teams and teams not making automatic promotion, because that Northampton situation is absolutely staggering. I mean, to start off the game with a 5-goal swing if Northampton won is one thing, but then Northampton win 3-1 and Bristol Rovers have to win by 7 clear goals.
And then they just do.
And I tell you something now, that could only happen in English football, unless there was money changing hands. Then it could happen in Italy, probably has done. That could only happen in English football. English football never fails to surprise and delight and crush your hopes as well.
I thought it was quite... I mean, I've sort of stepped back from the concrete roundabout because it's just a bit of a... There was people turning up last week that had never been there for years, and the first thing they did was decide to slag everyone else off, and you just think, oh, yeah, that's my job, not yours. But, you know. So
that's what we're here for.
Excuse me, yeah, so I just thought, I'll give it a miss, but I've lost my train of thought. Oh, yeah, there was someone had a thing up about Northampton, you've got to feel sorry for them. Have you? I don't. You think they would feel sorry for us? No chance.
In that... We all have, as a Northampton don't get on, as we know, but I mean that is the cruelest of the cruel, and not just that, but the fact that Scunthorpe played their under-12s as well, and I read that Northampton have made an official complaint about that, which is fair enough.
Fair enough, but nothing will get done about it. Simple as that.
I wouldn't have thought so. And I watched the playback, the highlights of that, and it was attack against defence. It was men against boys.
Quite literally.
There was one poor lad that scored the first goal, the own goal. He was involved in every single goal in some way or other. He was so far out of his depth. I mean, for me, aside from the fact that you shouldn't really be playing your under-12s, regardless of your situation, if you were relegated 6 weeks ago, whatever, it shouldn't matter. You have to show some respect to the other team and the rest of the league and really play. And it's not fair on those kids either. I mean, that lad... It's
not fair on him. I mean, that's you can laugh, but that's psychologically scarring, that, you know, at a young age.
Yeah, it could make him stronger, but it could also crush his...
just think, what's the point of this? I might as well go and become a bricklayer or something, you know?
Yeah, but I only wanted to mention that because it just sums up English football for me in one whole sort of 90 minutes of... And imagine being a Northampton fan or a Northampton player and you're just sat there in the stadium because you can't go home. You've got to stay, haven't you? And to find out...
Got your phone out. Oh, no, they've scored. Oh, they've scored again. Oh, they keep scoring.
I just don't know. You know, it's ridiculous, but... Back to our game. Yeah, there wasn't anything more we could have done.
No, nothing.
Score one more goal and then go on to extra time, penalties, maybe, who knows. But if we'd have got the second goal, they would have had to start playing football, and we would have destroyed them. We would have absolutely destroyed them had that gone to 2-2, because it would have meant that they would have to come out and attack. But he's a very... the word that jumped into my head there was devious, but he's a very he has a lot of tactical nous, Gareth Ainsworth. Do you remember I told you that in the game at our place, after their man got sent off, and I think it was it 2-1 at the time, or was it 2-0? I can't remember which.
Couldn't even remember.
But Gareth Ainsworth
meeting was 2 minutes ago.
Gareth Ainsworth verbally said, "We've got a game on Tuesday, lads. Let's get it done and go home." Yeah, he accepted the result, and I've never seen that. You know, you can go out and rejig your formation to try and not score, concede any more goals, or even, you know, go for it and try and get a goal. But he actually walked away from the game before it finished, and yeah, it's not pretty. It's not enjoyable to watch, but it has brought them success. I mean, I don't know what will happen to them in the Championship now if they go up, but
if they play that style of football,
I personally think Sunderland should win.
I would like to hope so, but I wouldn't,
because it's a one-off game.
Yeah, I mean, you can't. You know, it's a cup final basically. You can't. You know, there's like on paper you'd think Sunderland would annihilate them, but on paper you think we would have gone through them like a dose of salts, you know, but we didn't. So
no, exactly, and he could change it again tactically and actually decide to play football and go up against Sunderland.
I would be surprised. That would be a massive mistake.
Yeah,
did you see his pre-match interview last Thursday?
No, I mean, why would you watch that?
Well, it was on the telly, wasn't it? I was watching it. You don't have to see it. It's worth that. You know what? That is worth watching, like, even more than George Williams and the Cowshed.
Was it? Are you talking about the one
on Thursday?
Their place?
Yeah.
Oh no! Actually, you know what? I went round Zoe's to watch it, and the Sky lady said, and after the break, we'll be talking to Gareth Ainsworth. Right?
You think
that's it?
Let's get the kettle on.
Find something to do for 6 or 7 minutes.
Oh, it was astonishing, Tony. It was.
It makes no. It's all press speak. It's all said for the media.
He's
do you know who he reminds me of?
I know.
He reminds me very much of the chairman, to be honest.
Does he?
Not only in appearance, but he actually says a lot, but doesn't really say
doesn't say
too
anything.
much. It doesn't give a lot away. You know, the chairman can chat for hours and hours and
not say a thing,
not answer your question, and it will babble for hours, and you'll think that was really good. But my question was, what's the time? And do
you know what he's like, Gareth Ainsworth? Are you old enough to remember that little-known youth cult called the New Wave of British Heavy Metal, or to use its acronym NWOBHM? Do you remember that? No.
The New Wave
of British Heavy Metal, yeah. NWOBHM it was called.
What bands were involved?
Well, there's two massive bands come out of it, Tony. One of them was Iron Maiden, and the other one was Def Leppard. Right, both shite, right?
Oh, shite! Oh, Def
right.
Leppard. Oh my god!
But having said that, Tony, as with any youth movement, when there's a couple of inverted commas half decent bands, even though neither of them, there's always a complete and utter load of dross comes behind it, isn't there? So there was.
I like the sign at their stadium that says "Rock and Roll."
Oh,
football.
Mate. Honestly,
if that's rock and roll football, it's 2 bass players and a keyboardist.
But what he is, like, you had bands, one of them was called Saxon, right? That tells you all you've got to know, doesn't it? There was another one called the Tigers of Tang. Do you know what he is, Tony? Gareth Ainsworth. He is the bass player from Saxon. That's what he's like. Just a second.
I literally could not have thought of a better insult. It was always going to be a bass player.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. What about the bass? No, that's not. No. Go with that one, Saxon.
Yeah, he's a bass player.
Because it's got an E on the end, if I remember rightly.
It is, yeah. A shit band, and like.
What should we do to make our name exotic?
Yeah,
Stick an
put
E
an E
on the end.
If I have 2 E's in the middle. He's like that, isn't he? He's just like.
Why do bass players bounce? What is it with bass players?
I don't know. I was a bass player.
They never move from their spot. With the occasional thrust forward on one knee, they're doing a solo. You can't do a solo on a bass, mate.
Not on a bass,
you
it
just
sounds
stand
shit.
there and pluck 2 strings for half an hour.
There's nothing worse.
You're done.
The only thing that's worse than here's a bass solo is, right, mate, it's the drum solo now, go on.
Well, you see, at least the drummer can do a drum solo.
Well, he can, yeah.
If needed. And he holds the tempo, the rhythm. But bass players, I mean, people mock. Who's the what is it? The untalented one that follows a band around, the drummer. It's not true. It's the bass player. It's always the bass player. And I make no apology to any bass players listening, and I'm sure there are.
Oh, they're bound to be.
But you're just you took the easy way out.
You did 4 strings for a start.
You couldn't cope with an extra 2 strings.
One finger. You don't have to hold chords.
Your fingers are fat, and you bounce.
Yeah, that's what he's like. He's like, his interview was like quite literally. It was jaw dropping, Tony. Right? They started by asking him, right, and I'm not joking. Right, you can go back and find it. It'll be on the internet. Nah,
you're right. I'll be fine. You carry on.
This guy's, the old Sky interviewer's opening, thing was to ask him about his hair. Wait, asked him about.
Obviously.
And then he asked him about his shoes. Oh, you've not got your lucky snakeskin shoes on. And I'm thinking, fuck me, what is this? It's just like, you know what I was thinking?
Also, did he unbutton?
He's shot, Tony.
Did he undo one button every time they scored?
Yeah, he did. He must have done because, like,
it started up by his neck, I'm sure.
It did, and he was split to the navel, Tony, by the time old matey gets sent off, wasn't he?
I was expected to see some giant hanging medallion.
He had a load of beads on that you wouldn't have seen unless you watched the thing, eh?
Beads. I mean, he's just a walking midlife crisis, isn't he?
What I was thinking, and I said it on the old, what's called the Supporters Association Facebook thing the other night, it's just like, this is what would happen, right? You would think to yourself, right, the bass player from Saxon, still in Saxon, right, still playing, still playing the dog and duck, or, still turning up at the Fox.
Obviously, yeah.
Yeah, still playing the Fox and Hounds at Story every other Friday, kind of thing. Here's Saxon, let's go and see them. But you think, I've got a great idea. Why don't we approach Netflix with this idea? What's your idea? Well, you go on and you're like, well, we've come to pitch for a show on Netflix. So, what's your idea? Well, our idea is we've got like a washed-up rock star. He had a couple of hits probably, in the early 80s, like, and now he manages a football team. Oh, right. Has he got any, footballing knowledge? No, that's the great thing about it. He knows nothing about football, but he looks fucking brilliant, That's what it is. He's just, the man is like, he's not even become a parody of himself because you just think,
No, he has.
I sort of forgot about him right on a Sunday night because I'll be honest, you're right, I was really, really nervous. I thought, I couldn't really... I couldn't enjoy the game, right, because I was really, really nervous. My lad kept asking me, what's the matter with you? And I said, I'm just really nervous. And then I caught sight of him, right, and there he was. And the first thing you notice is his, shirt is nearly fully unbuttoned. And you think, mate, come on. I mean, he's become my least favourite football manager. And I will include Neil Lennon in that. You know how much I don't like Neil Lennon? I mean, God almighty. I just, it irritates me beyond belief. I don't think he's funny, right? He tries to be, I don't even know if he tries...
That's it. I mean, that's what I mean.
He's not funny.
He just has this continuous sort of...
knobness.
And you can see him, when he retires from football, he will be in that band. He will be in that band that plays the dog and duck.
He will be.
Every Sunday night. And I'll put money on this now. He will be wearing double denim and a leather waistcoat. Oh. And because he's lost his hair, he'll have a ponytail.
I'll tell you what,
you know exactly who I'm talking about.
Yeah,
you can see him in your
eyes. I can see him right now.
He's basically the bloke out of Status Quo.
I tell you what he will have. A pair of Cuban-heeled boots on, Tony, without a doubt.
Oh, yeah. I mean, all right, let's start from the bottom.
Right.
Cuban heels.
Pair of Cuban heels. Exceptionally tight denims, I'd say.
Really, really drained, tight jeans.
Yeah.
Blue, really faded, tight blue jeans.
He'll have a
belt.
He'll
have a denim
you've got to get the belt, Tony. He'll have a belt with an absolutely ludicrous buckle. His belt, Tony.
He'll have a belt chain.
A belt chain. His belt buckle, Tony, will be in the shape...
mobile phone on a clip on his belt. A leather waistcoat.
Yeah, over a denim shirt.
Waistcoat and... no facial hair, but he'll definitely have a ponytail. And he'll be a bass player.
And getting back to his belt buckle, Tony, will be in the shape of a horseshoe, because that's the kind of twatty.
Do you not think it would be a skull?
What, skull and crossbones? That's too. I don't know. I mean, he is pretty obvious, isn't he? I don't know. I mean, it's not. I'm quite a well-dressed man, Tony, as you know.
Horseshoe's fine. Yeah. So,
I do spend a lot.
Cuban heels.
Yeah.
Tight blue jeans.
Yeah.
shit belt with some ridiculously large
belt,
metallic buckle on it, a keychain, a big keychain, possibly
one of those great big.
I don't know. Is 2
loops
too far? I don't know.
What?
Mobile phone on a belt clip, denim shirt, leather waistcoat, ponytail. And one earring.
One earring, Tony. The one earring. You have just absolutely.
Even though he got it when he was 57.
Yes. The one earring, Tony, is the defining image of that man right there. That is, you could not ask for a better one. One earring is just perfect, isn't it?
His long-suffering wife will be at every gig sat there with a purno and black.
I mean, we've slagged him off. He's beaten us, aren't you?
He will cry himself to sleep if he hears this. He'll cry himself in his sleep while he's sleeping on the coach to Wembley.
I mean, getting back to their style of football, I said it earlier.
Style.
Well, there's nothing aesthetically pleasing about it, right? It's purely a means to an end, which is to score a goal. I know that's what football is, and I'm probably overthinking it.
You see, that's where you can't fault him, because he knows the limitations of that team. And he's basically said it publicly. We do what we have to do. He's never ever said, yep, it's shit, and I wouldn't pay to watch it myself, but it works and it gets results. And I mean, it can't have any longevity, really. If they were to play every game like they did against us on Sunday, they would lose every game 1-0.
There's no development, does there? You can't see. We're better as a team. We were better than we were even when Rotherham turned up that time. We were infinitely better, but towards the end of the season, they were just the same, which was just hoof it up, or that was it. There was no or. It was just hoof it up, and kick the shit out of the opposition. If they think they can get away with booting the shit out of you, they will. I mean, they will eventually come up against a team that won't stand for that and will absolutely batter them, hopefully. I don't know what Sunderland are like.
Because we had 24 shots, 14 on target, I think. They can't possibly play that in the Championship because as good as Scott Twine is, there are teams in the Championship that have got 2 Scott Twines and a Barry Bannon in midfield and a Coventry that's playing next to him, and any number of... this is where we struggled in the Championship, was when you talk about the quality of the players. In League One, and Robbie Nielsen said this, in League One, even in League One, you look at some of the players who we've got, and we've had players, League One Player of the Year, we had Harry Darling, who was also in the League One Team of the Year. If you gave fans of the other 23 clubs in the in League One our squad on Sunday, or our players on Sunday, and said, how many of those would replace directly the players in your team? You would think that, Twine would, probably O'Cora would, that Harry Darling would, Dean Lewington would, Colin Coventry definitely would, other than Barry Bannon probably. Barry Bannon is more of an attacking midfielder, but when you look at the players that we have compared to what a Championship team would have, I don't think there's a huge amount of difference. The difference really is that every player in every position is capable in the Championship of making you look very silly. There are utility players and there are players who are purely functional, but football's going the other way now, and every player needs to be a footballer, and every player needs to be able to play the ball and get in the box and score a gun, have a more of a football brain than possibly years ago. That's where, they've had the experience of the season before last Wickham, where they will have realised that, and they clearly did towards the end of the season when they started winning and nearly got themselves out of it. But that's where we went wrong in the Championship, is that, as Robbie Nielsen said, in Scotland, you generally have one player in a team who will stand out head and shoulders above everybody else. In England, and even in League One, he said there's 3 or 4 players in each team who are capable of that, and you can double that again in the Championship. So they will need to drastically change the way that they play their games.
I don't think they can, Tony. He can't do that.
Not necessarily to not necessarily to not get beat, but they can't win games playing that
I don't think he's interested in winning games, Tony. All he's interested in is, nicking a point. That's what they're interested in.
Well, yeah, but again, I mean, I try and see it, and I've thought about it, and I really can't get my head around it. But if I was a Wycombe fan going up to the Championship, which they may do, would I be looking at that and thinking, if we're going to go down again, I want to go down fighting. I want to see us playing football. I want to see us bring in a few players and add a bit of creativity to it. Because when you go through that team, other than their number 12, who I don't know if you noticed, he was being man-marked by Louis.
Was that the fella?
I've not seen.
I thought it was 21. I'm getting these wrong. 21 or 12. He was good. That guy. He
12,
was. Thought he was.
Louis was man-marking 12, which I haven't seen in years from any Dons player man-marking. Because at one point Louis was playing where Uhura was, and Uhura was playing where Louis was, and I thought, well, they can't possibly have swapped sides. And it then dawned on me, because Zoe had already mentioned it. She said, I think Louis is man-marking that number 12. And I said, well, that's unlikely. I said, he just happens to be playing in the same position as where Louis is. But she was absolutely right. Louis had shifted to the right wing back, right side of that back three, following the number 12. I mean, he kept him quiet, and he did the job very well. When you consider that in a foot race, there was no chance that the bloke was going to get caught by Louis, but he also knew that if he tried that, what Louis would do to him, and he did twice, and then the lad seemed to not give up. But he certainly, when he moved over to the right hand side to Uhura, and must have turned around and gone, "Oh fuck, he's followed me."
Well, we've spent this podcast talking about them, haven't we? Let's stop talking about them now.
Yeah, so let's talk about the much more cheery things, like who we're going to lose in the summer. And,
including the manager.
Including the manager. I mean, it is a real possibility, and I was just looking at the odds there for the QPR.
He's favourite now, isn't he?
Is, I think, well, last time...
Well, it depends which site you go on,
4-1 with Robbo.
Robbo? Blimey.
Robbo already went for the QPR job when he was with us.
Did he?
Told me he went to Les Ferdinand's house in his helicopter, no less. And Les Ferdinand told him that, yep, that's it, it's all sorted, mate. You're there, you're done. You've got the job, and they promptly gave it to that bloke from Bristol. So there you go.
Well, yeah. I mean, who's going to go? Like, obviously, Cumming will go, won't he? Well, he's gone because he's not our player.
He's the only one I've got any hope of keeping. I think.
Really?
He could easily play in the Championship.
There is difficulty though with Chelsea, isn't it? Because you don't know what their finance, all that crap.
The Lewis Baker debacle, there's no.
Well, I'm thinking more about you can't sell or buy any players or tickets or anything, can you? You don't know what will happen with them, do you? That could play into our advantage, couldn't it? Because you just might think, I might just be better off getting out of here, You never know, do you?
I mean, I think it's safe to say that the loan players
they've gone,
are unlikely to come
back.
I thought
Corbin had a cracking game on Sunday night. That was his best game, wasn't it?
Yeah, I know I've been criticising him, but it's just, my criticism is based on his first 3 or 4 games with us, where he was really running the man. But Sunday he was facing up to the player, and I wanted to see him go past him, get to the line, and get some crosses in. He had a couple of good shots. I think he could have done a bit more, and I was disappointed that when the subs were made, he wasn't one of them, because I wanted to see a more compact shape. But he did see more of the ball after the substitutions, because the bloke that was marking him, he tried everything. At one point he smashed him in the face off the ball, a foot away from the linesman. Everybody saw it. I mean, the linesman was a foot away, and I was 10 foot away. How the linesman? Well, he must have seen it. He definitely saw it, but the bloke could have got sent off for it.
He was a little fella, wasn't he? I remember him, little blonde-headed fella, wasn't he? That was marking him.
No, I can't remember. What was his name? I mean, there were a couple on him.
No, maybe
quite
it was
often,
just
so
that.
maybe that's what you're thinking.
So he'll go anyway, won't he? The Connor Coventry, he was going,
yeah,
wasn't he?
he'll go back. Connor Coventry will go back.
Kessler Hayden, he's going.
back.
Yeah.
So was that 5 that started on Sunday?
Who did we say? Cumming,
Corbinu, Cumming, Parrott.
Parrott, we didn't say Parrott. Yeah, Troy Parrott. Yeah, he'll go. That's it.
KKH. Who's the other one? That's 4. Coventry.
So that's the 5 that they've gone now.
So
they're already gone, haven't they?
Harry Darling, Scott Twine. That's 7. That must be the 7 years.
That is the 7 year that I thought of earlier on.
I think, if clubs are looking at just very good, solid players, I'd put O'Hora as a dangerously maybe. Mm. Even David Kasumu, obviously, is another one. Who's that? Josh McEachran.
Well, that's all of them. We can't.
There's 10, so 7 we're almost certain on. O'Hora, Kasumu, McEachran. Don't think anybody's going to buy Louis, so...
No, I don't think Daniel Harvey, my lad...
Daniel Harvey, I mean, again, that's a possibility.
No, I don't... He had a terrible game on Thursday night, didn't he? He was just terrible on Thursday.
He wasn't given a lot of space. He was trying to get down the wings a lot.
I tell you who I thought had a really good game, and I'm not embarrassed to say it on Sunday, was Tang. I thought he was really, really alright on Sunday.
Yeah. Let's just have a quick look at the...
He won't go. I suspect he'll go, but I think he'll go because we'll get rid of him, to be quite honest. I don't know how long he's got on his contract or anything, but I'd be surprised if he's still here next year, that bloke. But having said that, I mean, when he came back from Cambridge, I thought, bloody hell, mate. But he's done all right, hasn't he? When he was the brief time we've seen him play, which wasn't very often. But when he played, he seemed to do all right, didn't he? When he wasn't setting the heather on fire, but he was all right, wasn't he? Who
have we missed from the line? We haven't missed anybody from the lineup on Sunday.
Well, who started then? Cumming started.
Darling. The one that I'm missing is Louis. So Cumming, Louis, Darling, O'Hora, Harvey, Kessler Hayden, Parrott, Coventry, Boateng, Corbinu, Twine.
Yeah, that was it.
So if other than Boateng, do you know, I nearly said that, I'm going to say it anyway. The new manager could take
inside information there. I reckon that is inside info to him.
Yeah, I mean that is Boateng's a tricky one because if it wasn't for Russell Martin leaving and Louis coming in and saying this lad needs a chance to prove himself, and he was right, but he still hasn't played a huge amount of football, and he's not capable of 90 minutes.
No, he hasn't. No,
he'll have a fresh start at the beginning of the season. He should be as fit and fresh as any of the other players, if we've got any.
I tell you who I've completely forgotten about, Mo Isa.
Mo Isa, yeah, we could have done. I mean, who knows with after that injury,
who knows, mate?
What might have occurred if he'd have been around? I mean, I didn't think it was too much of an issue with Twine and Parrott, but he had started scoring, hadn't he?
Yeah,
he had started scoring a few. So that leaves us with Connor Wickham then, really?
Oh, I mean, I would get rid of him. I would never... Nah.
Oh, Tenai Watson.
Tenai Watson, he came back on, didn't he? Forgot about him.
Yeah. And then other than that, Kemp. Well, so we've got Kemp, Wickham,
Matt Smith,
Mo Isa.
Franco.
So we've got 4 players to start.
Franco, we've got a goalkeeper. We've got Franco.
Oh yeah, Franco. Yeah,
we're not idiots.
Baldwin as well.
I don't know. I mean, it's a massive rebuilding. I mean, that is a big. But I think, having said that, we came through worse at the beginning of this season, didn't we? By just the fact of what happened.
This will be the 3rd time round now, and like I said earlier, we replaced the players that we thought were irreplaceable.
We couldn't. I mean, Gilby, you don't miss him, do you?
Liam Sweeten has said... I mean, Liam Sweeten's so good at his job that if he leaves, he's already got someone to replace him.
Bloody hope he doesn't leave. That would be... of everyone that would leave, Tony, of everyone in the whole team that would leave, if he was to leave, that would be the biggest loss, if you ask me.
Well, this is it, and we've spoken about the effects that Andy King went in that pre-season, where we lost... Not just a good scout, because it's not that. It is who you know.
Yeah.
and the people that you can talk to. And that's the difference, is if you're ringing to talk to someone at Chelsea or Liverpool or Man City or Man United, wherever it might be, you need to be able to get through to that person and have them in your phone book or whatever on your phone to be able to have that conversation and actually talk to the person that you need to talk to. And he had that, and obviously Liam Sweeten has clearly got, I don't know what it is he does. I don't know if he knows the people, if he just knows how to get the players. Because if you look at Scott Twine, Scott Twine chose us. We don't know who Scott Twine chose us over necessarily, but you know, there are lots of rumblings from fans across League One, even before he was named League One Player of the Year, about how did we miss this lad? You know, why didn't we pick up this lad? He's 21 years old, I think, isn't he? 21.
He's young, I know that. He looks a lot younger when you see him up close than he doesn't. Looks about 15, doesn't he?
Yeah, and when you think that, I mean, he was Swindon's standout player, but I'd still never heard of him.
No, I didn't know.
But, you know, just because I haven't heard of him doesn't mean that the rest of football isn't aware of him. But, yeah, how did he end up with us rather than another? And that's got to be down to Liam Manning and his team, and whatever it is that they do, they need to do it again this summer. I mean, it's occurred to me over the last few weeks and months that this is our future as long as we're in League One.
Yeah,
if you're a Championship club, it might be a little bit easier to hold on to the players because of the wages, because they'll be looking at either top Championship clubs or lower ranked Premier League clubs or Premier League clubs that have been relegated. So from that point of view, you would hope that it would be easier to retain players. But you know, this will be regularly now if we continue with the recruitment the way it is and being moderately successful and getting to playoffs. Those players are going to be, I mean, they are standout players anyway. When was the last time you could look? I mean, even that team from the team that got promoted, Delhi, being the obvious standout. But when you look at the rest of it, Lewis Baker wasn't ours. Griggy wasn't ours.
No.
Bennett wasn't ours. We're talking now about players that are ours, and they are going to be. It doesn't feel so bad when it's a lone player because you know that they're probably not going to be here next season, and it's very unusual for that to happen. But particularly with a younger player. But you're looking at it now and you're thinking it is a complete rebuild, isn't it? Really,
totally, completely from the ground up, completely.
And aside from the players, if Liam Manning does go,
that's a big. That would be.
What are the options?
I don't know, really. I mean, if he goes, he goes. I mean, it's just there's an awful lot of rumours. You know, you don't know if it's just paper talk or if it's just, you know, QPR or whatever other. You know, he's linked with just, putting that out.
Forest Green's manager. Did you see the Forest Green statement, by the way?
Yeah, I did see that, yeah.
Absolutely brilliant.
Well, he say he's not our manager any longer, he said. Oh, that's brilliant. Well done, mate.
Left a bad taste in the mouth, whatever it was. This is not how football should be done. But he's gone to Watford, which is from League.
Where do you want to go?
To Watford.
I tell you where I'll go. I'll go to Watford because they've got such a great, track record
of retaining managers
of longevity where managerial, appointments are concerned. I'll be honest with you, Tony. Watford as manager of the month has a whole new connotation there, doesn't it? Right, honest with you.
Exactly. That is a.
I wouldn't go there.
I mean, when you look at that, you're thinking Watford they've not even close to picking out a big name. They've gone for someone who's been successful at a lower level, and as we well know, that is never a recipe for success unless you count Roberto Di Matteo winning the Champions League and then getting sacked.
What was that, Tony? But they did sack him, so ended badly for him with his Champions League medal around his neck. That's a strange thing.
Martin Allen was no youngster at the time, let's be honest. But Paul Ince went to Blackburn, disastrous. Martin Allen, Leicester, disastrous.
Robbo didn't leave, did he? He got the bullets.
But he was there for 6 years. So, and the way I see it is that Liam Manning is going to make a very, very, very lucrative and financially secure career in the future.
Yeah.
If he continues the way he is with us. So, as we said, Russell Martin, again, there was no real reason for him not to stay and finish what he'd started here. Although we're actually better off.
We're better off, yeah. I mean, it's an upgrade, but that was purely by circumstance, wasn't it? That wasn't by design, was it?
We didn't know that at the time. I mean, that walking away from Bournemouth and thinking, the fuck are we going to do now?
Yeah.
When the news had spread that he'd basically gone. What? I just think it certainly wouldn't harm his career if he continued the way he has been this season with us for another few years. It can only enhance his career and his value and his experience. He's going to be walking into a club where the egos are much, much bigger than what they are in the MK Dons dressing room. He will possibly be around about the same age as a few of the players as well. But whatever he does, I mean, again, it will be with all the best wishes.
Yeah, I have no ill will against him. If he leaves, I'll say well done. Because quite honestly, I think this has been a great season.
I think it's been a bonus season. Really.
A brilliant season. It didn't end, how you would like it to have ended. But even though, I mean, I thought it was a great season. It really was.
Up until the final day, we could have gone up automatically. I mean, that's crazy. Even though people poo-pooed me when I said we'd get to the playoffs at the beginning of the season. Poo-pooed me, they did. I was convinced that we could do that with the team that we had at the time.
I mean, that time, Louis...
To better that and get to where we were is just...
I mean, that time that Louis and his dad took the first league game, you would have been thinking to yourself, if we actually manage to stay up this year, that'll be all right. Well, I've done it. No, seriously, Tony. You would have,
That's the thing, isn't it? That was a one-off game. It was a crazy game, 3-3 at Bolton, first game of the season, and you're thinking, it can't continue like this. There's no way we can carry on like this. It has to be, we've now got a manager on our record with a 0% win record. But he's also got a 0% lose record.
Yeah,
so
and he's got another. There's another thing, Tony, about him. He is the only manager who has never picked Dean Lewington.
That's exactly. He actively dropped him.
He did. He dropped him.
We're also. They say we've got no history, but we are the only club in playoff history to have played in 5 playoffs, lose them all, and never go to Wembley.
Speaking about, I was watching... Did you watch the Sheffield Wednesday game the other night?
Yeah, I did, yeah.
Live. People say Milton Keynes is like a plastic, not a real club, are they? Plastic, that. Do you think, Tony, it's a good idea to have a band in the corner of your stand, all in different levels?
It was... I was quite surprised, not just because someone did say is Gary Farnsworth there.
Maybe it was Saxon. And then when it gets dark, they all start putting.
He's playing the Pig and Firkin in Lutworth at the moment.
And they put all their lights on their mobile phones. When did that become a thing? That's just beyond cringeworthy.
When we do it, it's pathetic.
Have we done that? I've never seen Milton Keynes doing that. Hold your bloody lights up. We've never done that.
I'm saying that, but if we did do it, it would be the most pathetic and typically plastic MK Dons franchise thing to do. But yeah, I mean, there's I think that a lot of that was also, as with us, with the 11,000 home fans, there were a lot of people there that were just there for the occasion.
Yeah, that was. The 2 guys sat next to me. I'd never seen them in my life before. Didn't seem particularly engaged with the game. They weren't screaming and shouting or anything like that, so I thought, they're just a couple of blokes that have decided to, let's go and see
interested observers, yeah. I don't have an issue with that.
No, I don't. I'd rather they were there than not,
football and think, actually, it's
all right.
I might be missing out, yeah.
Come back to that next season, see all these blokes again, or maybe not.
Yeah. But other than that, it's been a fantastic season.
It's been a great season. I've enjoyed nearly every minute. I really have. It's been good,
Arguably the best overall season for football we've ever seen as well.
I think our style of football goes, I mean, the actual quality of the football.
Not as many goals as we've experienced before, but I would argue that we actually scored more goals than we probably should have.
I thought it was quite a strong league. Well, the top half of it was a bit, it know.
I say the top. There's a top 9.
Yeah, I'd say that.
Really.
Yeah. Everything underneath that was a load of dross, wasn't it? To be quite honest, but
yeah, the rest.
I don't know what next year's going to be like.
As we said, it just shows the quality of it. Yeah. That you've got the likes of Ipswich in 11th, Charlton in 13th, Portsmouth in 10th. You know, Portsmouth couldn't even get near the playoffs, and go down to. I'll include Bolton because I like Bolton. So there's a top 9 there. So the top 6 with the playoff teams as well, plus Plymouth, Oxford, and Bolton. That's a very, very strong. That's a very, very strong group.
You missed it, Wycombe, Tony. You missed Wycombe out. How could you possibly miss playoff finalist Wycombe out in your good teams?
Well, I have to include them because I said the top 6. Yeah,
you didn't name them, though, Tony. You didn't actually use their name. Hi, Wycombe.
Well, I suppose not, but we all know who we're talking about. I've got the yes. I was just looking at the table actually. I didn't realise that. I must have known this, but Fleetwood only got away on goal difference. But to be fair, it was by 14 clear goals. So yeah, but yeah, when you think you got the clubs that are coming down,
yeah. Who else is coming down apart from Derby? Can't think.
Peterborough and Barnsley.
Peterborough, of course.
It's your basic League One again next season.
With the bonus of having Wayne Rooney in it and his wife. Yeah. I hope he brings Rebecca Vardy with him. That'd be funny, wouldn't it?
That'd be nice, yeah, in handcuffs.
They could sit at both sides of the stands looking daggers at one another, couldn't they? I'd go for
standard stuff. Wigan and Rotherham swap places with Peterborough and Barnsley again this season. The same will happen at the end of next season, no doubt.
Straight back down.
Yeah,
I don't know. I think Wigan, they're a strong team now, aren't they? Wigan, you would have thought, you know.
Yeah. Well, I'm thinking more clearly now about the teams that are coming down because we're getting rid of Wigan and Rotherham. They are effectively being replaced by Peterborough and Barnsley, so there's no real gain or loss there.
No,
but Derby, despite their absolute shambles of their situation at the moment, are still a massive club with hugely talented players. But I don't know if they'll get robbed this pre-season for the few.
I don't know what their financial situation is. I have no idea, mate. Quite honest.
I see them being not quite as bad off as Bolton or Wigan when it happened to them. But I would be very, very, very surprised if they don't walk away with with League One next season. So once again,
but even a ball kick, Tony's already called it. Not even the season's not even officially done.
Yeah, I mean, we did say. I think I probably said the same about Ipswich a few seasons ago. Sorry, plucking at Ipswich.
You can only hope, Tony, that someone from Derby will bet their house that they'll go and make it.
Oh, possibly. But again, then there's the underperformers as well. So, you know, we've been waiting for that season that Portsmouth are going to have. We're waiting for that season that Charlton are going to have. It's got to happen at some point.
Oh, breaking news from the Premiership. Wolves 1, Man City 1. 12 minutes in.
Oh, right.
There you go. Rangers 2, Ross County 0.
Oh, exciting stuff.
That's good. Celtic 0 and D United 0. Oh, that's good news. Right,
actually, I'm just looking at a photo of Gareth Ainsworth, and he does actually have a ridiculously large buckle belt.
I knew he did.
Belt buckle, sorry. A large metal. I don't know what it is, but it is too big for.
I think it probably says something along the lines of "I'm the boss" or "Keep on trucking." Remember the old "Keep on trucking"?
Keep on trucking.
That's what he's got on us.
Yeah, well, that would be great. Oh, please let it say "Keep on trucking." That would be, or just simply Saxon with an E.
Right, I think on that bombshell, as they used to say in the old Top Gear, we should wind this season up. So, from a podcast...
as it's the last one, can we do a prediction for the playoff final?
Yes, go on then.
Sunderland 18, Wycombe -3.
I'm not going to give a score, but I genuinely, and I'm not saying this because Gareth Ainsworth is a knob, I genuinely, honest to God, thinks this is Sunderland's time to go up and get out of this.
I think it is. I think they'll be too good in a one-off game.
In a one-off game.
Barring some minor miracle.
I watched both legs. I watched, and to be quite
fair.
It's
unusual for me. I did watch both, and
I thought Sunderland were the better team overall.
Yeah,
they really
what
were.
they didn't do, and what I think Alex Neil has done now, is although they went 1-0 down, they have had a habit of rolling over when that's happened to them.
But not this time.
But not under Alex Neil. They seem to have pulled themselves together, and I think that if they score first at Wembley, it's a done deal. Because Wycombe would then have to come out and
Plus, you've also got the thing. I mean, how many fans are they going to take as opposed to Wycombe? You know, I mean, it'll be absolutely packed, won't it, with Sunderland fans?
I think the allocation is 35,000 each, regardless. So that's what we were going to be.
I'd be surprised if Wycombe can bring 35,000 fans to. They can't, can they? There aren't 35,000 of them, So
I don't think they'd be far off.
No, I don't know. Would he? A lot of day trippers will go, won't they? Just because it's a day.
Well, obviously, I mean, we took 36 to the JPT, and we were only 3 weeks old when
we were. But so all in all, I think it's been an alright season. It's been a bit. The podcasts, from a personal point of view, the podcast has gone a bit up and down, hasn't it?
But we've been fabulous. So.
I've been great on it. I've been on every single episode.
What's that quote from Plunkett and McLean?
What's that?
Bloody good fun, and I was great. Or something like that.
Right, so I think that's us done. We'll be back, the end of July? That sound a bit right, doesn't it?
Yeah, if we don't do any... Well, certainly the week before the first...
I'm definitely having a break for this. I need to not be doing this every Wednesday night.
But it will be nice, I have to say. I've enjoyed coming back to it.
Because marital dispute this evening, quite honestly, me, just like... I can't have a big steak pie dinner. I can't have that. How can I? So now we didn't have a big steak pie dinner. But on the plus side, Tony, guess what I'm having for dinner tomorrow night? A big homemade steak pie.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it already. So that's us done. You've done an hour again. These ones seem to be coming out at an hour, even though it seems like 5 minutes ago since I pressed record. So, right, we're done. It's been alright season. I've enjoyed it. God knows who'll be here.
Thank you for listening, you weird people.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, thanks for that.
You do. I see someone's call it John's podcast the other day.
Who did that? Well, right.
I don't know, but I thought, hello. Have I been usurped?
Oh, he's right, whoever it was that said it.
Well, yeah, true.
Right, I did read that actually. I read it on the air. You're right, it was on the Concrete Roundabout, wasn't it? I remember reading it.
Yeah.
And I responded by, my podcast is brilliant. I can't disagree with myself on that. That's what I said. Right, we're done. Finally, I'm going to say it finally. So, once again, like Tony says, thanks for listening. You don't have to, especially you blokes in the Midwest of America. Thanks for listening. All.
And all the AFC fans again. And any Wycombe fans, no offence, but you're boring.
There'll be a few of them listening this week, won't there? Maybe not. I don't listen to Save. I don't even know if they've got... I don't listen to other teams' podcasts.
Good luck to you at Wembley.
But... Yeah, good luck to you, yeah. And I'll be keeping an eye out for Saxon's next album, quite honest with you. I might even buy it online. Keep on trucking. See you later. See you in July. Bye.